Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. This is our special Saturday after the lights go out. We have a special opportunity today. Look, if you know me, you know it's all about the purple and black. I look, since '96, we got a gap in Baltimore sports. You know, you can talk about that. There's only one Colts, and they are pre-'83.
Right.
There's only one Ravens. Look, and look, I'm gonna ask you guys. Well, you haven't even understand. Like, I got chills knowing who my guests are. I got chills right now. We got a man that when I was first watching him play made me happy to be 5'8". Because I could watch another beast out there. I was in the Marine Corps. I was doing my thing, 5'8" myself. And here was this man just embarrassing 6'6", 6'5" D-backs, making them eat their lunch. One of the greatest returns I've ever seen in my life. Joining us still in B-more, and he's got a look. That the hat is gem, brother. The hat is gem right now today.
Thank you.
I'm loving it. Joining us, we have Mr. Jermaine Lewis.
I got no light back.
Thank you for the introduction.
And look, there's been 2 Orlandos in Baltimore. Now, there's been 2, but one D-back.
Right.
And he's down in my favorite. Look, I love Baltimore food. I'm going to tell you all this right now. I love my Baltimore food. I'm a pit beef sandwich kind of guy. I love a crab cake, but give me a pit beef sandwich with some horseradish. But I will tell you, anyone who knows me, my favorite food city is Atlanta. There's nothing like the barbecue in Atlanta, and throw on top of that, you can all talk about Chick-fil-A all you want until you've been to a Chick-fil-A Dwarf House. Chick-fil-A Dwarf House in Atlanta will change your life. I'll tell a story here in a minute, and y'all can hear me. But before we get too far into it, and we're talking about what happens with professional athletes when their careers, that in a sport that most have played since they were 7, 8, 9 years old, and they move into that transition into their new lives. What is that transition like? And what advice can they give to anyone who's transitioning from one stage in their life to another? But let's get some house cleaning done. As always, over my right shoulder, we got the big board for Sticker and a Cause. You got something you're supporting. You got something you believe in, something that's happening in your life, and you've got a sticker to support it. Reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, any one of those locations. I'll tell you where to send it to. We read about you on air, free for everybody. So remember, folks, that's Sticker and a Cause. Now, you know, Jermaine, I'm looking at them windows. See, Orlando ain't got no windows. He driving around somewhere. But I'm seeing them windows right now. You need some new blinds, brother. And then you can reach out to Budget Blinds.
I'm in the sunroom.
Oh, even better. So I see.
You can't have blinds in the sunroom.
We get you some solar. We could get you solar rollers.
I gotta see the deer. I built a little wall out there, man. I gotta see all that.
You gotta see them all. Well, Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York, are our sponsors. And getting ready here in the next couple of days, it'll be October. And for the month of October, anybody who refers somebody to us that makes a purchase for Budget Blinds of East Greenbush or Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York, they're going to make an additional donation to the Women's Veterans Alliance. Right now, we've already set our starting line is $500 to that organization, and everything we can donate on top of that, we're going to try to do it. This organization helps out women veterans when they're transitioning from the service, whether they have medical needs, whatever they've got going on. The Women's Veterans Alliance. All right, gents, we're set. We're done. You already got questions popping up. Do you want to go to questions, or we want to talk about where everybody's at right now?
Go to questions, man. It's about the people, right?
It's all about the peoples. So already, whoever wants to answer this first, what do you do to take care of your body for life after football? That's a great, I was thinking about this before. So what are you each doing?
Go ahead, Stroh.
Man, currently, I'm trying to get back. You know, I see people when they like, "Oh, you look like you can still play a few downs." So, but it took a few years to get back into that rhythm, into that mode of lifting weights and just working out and just trying to be healthy, because you have to do it for so long. You know what I mean? When you have to do it, when you don't have to do it, it's easy to stop doing it, but still look like you can go out and play a few snaps. You know what I'm saying? Then 5-6 years roll around and you're like, oh man, say start to get a belly and you run up a flight of steps and you can't, you know what I'm saying? So right now, man, it's just trying to get back into some sort of workout regimen. You know what I'm saying? I try to live like 4 days a week, nothing heavy. You know what I'm saying? J. Lou, I still got a workout from deeds that I do. A work, no doubt.
I ain't nowhere near that. I ain't nowhere near that.
Yeah. So what are you doing? What are you doing there, J. Lou?
Well, man, you know, in my sunroom right here, I got a treadmill, and then I got like a little yoga ball that I like stretch my back out. Then I got some little dumbbells that I use. But I'm active too, so I do a lot of football camps.
You do a lot of camps, yeah. So when you like me, I don't do a lot of camps. You know what I'm saying? Most activity I get is outside playing with my son or maybe getting in the pool. So I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta lift weights, because if I don't, yeah.
Well, you know what? You both bring up a great point. Before, that activity was tied to your paycheck. So when it's tied to your paycheck, it's a different animal.
Right.
That was me in the Marine Corps. It was tied to my paycheck. So when it first, so let me ask this question first. So J. Lou, how many years did you play football? I'm talking like from a kid on up.
Well, I started at like 6, and then I played from 6 years old till I was like 30 something. So I played a long time, man.
That's a lot of football.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing, you got Strohs on here, right? So I was at Maryland. I didn't like lifting weights. I hated weights.
Oh my God, this guy was the worst.
I used to throw water. Hey, look, we got to. I throw water on my shirt like I was sweating and stuff. We had to. I'm telling you. Look, this how Kevin Blake got Under Armour. We was sweating so much in them breaks.
Right.
But I throw all this water on my shirt, man. Looked like I was doing something, throwing on my forehead.
Oh my God. And the strength coach, Deej, wouldn't say nothing. Now, let me or somebody else try that. Deej calling you like, no, you ain't work out. I've been like, Jay Luca come in there and just throw water on his face. Do 2 sets or something. He out of there in like 15 minutes.
No.
I'm like, man, what happened when you're a 5-star recruit?
Nah, I wasn't no 5-star recruit.
Oh, that's so great. So
I had some 5-star speed, though.
That's it. That's all you had to have.
I mean, come on. All right, let's put it out right now, because we're going to talk about University of Maryland for half a heartbeat. Who's better, you or Diggs? Come on, J. Lou.
You say what? Oh, receiver? Oh, nah, man, he got me now.
Nah, come on.
Nah, I get it.
I'm gonna go Jay. I'm gonna go Jay.
Come on.
Because
I'm a baller though. Don't get it wrong. It's like we're in different categories. Like he's a good receiver. I'll give him his props, man. But I can ball. Just give me that ball.
I mean,
he can't. But see, the difference is the reason I can say you, Jay, because I saw you grow into what you became. You know what I'm saying? Like Diggs came into Maryland. He was you was fast when you came to Maryland.
Right.
But if we been honest, you and I both know, like, you couldn't catch a cold butt naked in Alaska when you came to Maryland. You could run.
Oh, man, I was playing running back.
You was playing running back, right? You played running back on those. Yeah, you played running back, so you ain't have to catch the ball. But I seen you grow into that dude that had now, you know what I'm saying, to have the hands, you know what I'm saying? You grew into one of the greatest receivers that I've ever seen play live. You know what I'm saying? But when I look at Diggs, it's like, all right, Diggs, when I saw Diggs play, I said, okay, I know this kid can play. You know what I'm saying? He was a little small for me when he first started in Maryland, but I was like, this kid can play. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious that he can play receiver.
Oh, that's great. So
but
now,
for that reason, I'll go Jay Lou.
Now, Strohs, who all did you play for, Strohs? At which teams?
Okay, thank you.
I didn't go professional, right? So I just, after college, that was it. I worked out with everybody. Bumped around a little bit, had an agent that was trying to get me up in Canada, but at some point it was like, you know what? If it's not the NFL, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I've been playing football since I was 5 years old. And then, you know what I'm saying, for it to end anywhere except the NFL, wasn't acceptable for me. You know what I mean? Looking back on it now, I had, you know what I'm saying, other teammates that went to Canada, left Canada, came to the NFL, or stayed in Canada and made a career out of it. And you know what I'm saying? Looking back on it, I'm like, man, it would have been an opportunity for me to continue playing ball. But at the time, I wasn't that mature. You know what I'm saying? So after college.
The Canadian thing, here's my whole thing with that. I always go back to the Rocket, Ishmael.
Right, yeah.
I always think about his deal. Hey, I'm not going to go to the NFL. He could have signed a crazy deal. That was back when there was no caps for rookies.
Right.
He just signed a crazy deal, and he went to Canada. He finally made that transition, and his brother made a better career out of it.
Missile, yeah. What was it? What they call him?
The Missile.
Or something?
The Missile.
Yeah, the Missile. Yeah.
One of Baltimore's finest.
Yeah.
You know, he made that transition. I couldn't tell you where the Rocket is today.
I have no idea. I haven't heard from him in years.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody knows where that cat is. You know, but I think that CFL piece, I think it's a black hole. To me, it's a black hole. I don't know too many players that other than what's his name that was in with the Rams for all those years when they had their run. He played CFL, or no, he played Arena.
Yeah. Okay, think about a cat like G-Roy Simon, right? G-Roy went to the CFL. G-Roy played 25 years in the CFL. Had opportunities to go to the NFL, but stayed in the CFL. And now the three biggest names in Canada right now is Justin Trudeau, Drake, and then G-Roy Simon.
Look,
that's the
Drake
list.
will always
the
be
Prime
the
Minister.
Drake
Drake
will always be the kid. Will always be the kid in the wheelchair. He needs to stop trying to be harder than woodpecker lips. You are the kid in the wheelchair in Degrassi High. Stop.
In Degrassi.
You are the kid in the wheelchair in Degrassi High. Stop. Trying to out here singing all them crazy ass songs that you ain't never done.
Right.
You know,
he got ghostwriters, so it's all good, man. But
you know what I mean?
That's why I look at that CFL.
So
G-Roy made a career out of it.
So let me ask this, then, and Strozen will stay with you for a second here. So you knew you're trying to get into the NFL. When was the day for you that you knew you were like, okay, this is done?
I think I went down to so when I look at it now, as opposed to looking at it then, I had my agents were, you know what I'm saying? I decided to go with some new agents. They were brand new in the business. And I did that based on, you know what, like they're new, so they're not going to have a big client list. So they're going to be able to focus their time on me, right? But I remember they sent me to Florida one time, right? So I'm seeing cats like, coming out. There's agents are sending them to, Cali to work out, to Arizona to work out. And you know what I'm saying? My agent sent me to Florida for like 2 days. It wasn't on no plane.
You got a bus ticket?
It wasn't on no bus. It was on my own dime. And like, yo, we'll pay you back. And I'm like,
I got you on the backside, dog. Don't worry about it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Something like, yo, this might not be in my cards because I shouldn't be getting treated like this. You know what I'm saying? Like J. Lou, I'm kicking it with AJ. He riding around in the Lexus LX 4.5. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I can't even get these cats to pay for me to go to Florida for a couple of days to work out with the Bucks.
Right.
So
that whole process is hard.
Yeah, it's the process, man. And then, you know what I'm saying? Now looking back at it, I realized, and I could tell people this today now, but I didn't realize it then. Like, I played from 5 years old to 20-something off of straight talent, right? Like J. Lou said, he didn't really want to be in the weight room. So I didn't want to be in the film room. I didn't want to do nothing but play football, right? And all my life I had got by just doing that. But then when I realized when Chad Scott came in, and I used to see Chad in the film room every day, AJ in the film room, you know what I'm saying? These cats watching film, I'm like, why? Like, I know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that makes a difference when NFL teams come in and they're going to ask your coach about you, right? What's his work habit like? His study habit like? And if your coach can't say, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying, he's been looking at film, he do it. They couldn't say that about me. They could say, we got tape on him, but tape wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, I realized, like, all right, this going to be harder than I thought for me.
Jen, somebody wanted to pop in and say hello. He can't hear you. I have my earbuds in, but this is our youngest Lucas. He likes to pop on. Say hi to Mr. Jermaine and Mr. Orlando. Go ahead, say hi.
What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Hello,
What's up,
how you
man?
doing?
All right, you good? All right, good night. I love you.
It's not my bedtime.
All right, something will go away.
Bedtime for the kiddo.
Your bedtime.
Oh yeah, well he's one of 8. He's the youngest of 8.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
I have
Brady
problems
Bunch
getting out.
over
I have problems
no.
pulling out of the driveway. So I mean,
Okay.
but so Jermaine, now I want to kind of transition over to your story though, because you had the full NFL career. You got the ring. 23 touchdowns. I got to ask you when Jamal broke the 23 on you, the 23 touchdown record. Were you like, did you talk shit to him? I need to know that just real quick.
Nah. I only pay attention to certain records. That ain't one of them.
That ain't one of mine. Because he had. You guys were Lewis and Lewis. It was like a law firm at that point.
Yeah,
right.
And the coach, Marvin.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Marvin.
Marvin was there. That's right.
That's right. Well, because that was the running joke for a minute there. It was almost like the Ripkins over on the O's. You had Ripken, and Ripken.
Right.
We're running all the Lewises, but for you, not so much just your emotions of making that, knowing that, hey, today's the last day. What was it like, or what was the buildup for you like to come home and tell Amira, like, we're done with the NFL?
Man, by that time I was like banged up. So at the end of my career, I was just getting shots. I had return coaches when I went to Houston and I went to Jacksonville. So that's when things got real. They kept calling middle returns, because as a startup franchise, everybody's new. So I'm at Houston. So when you do a kick return, they try to manipulate the numbers, right? So I'm gonna get deep. So if you run straight ahead, you're gonna get most of the yards because you're gonna average they want to average being on like the 28-yard line, 27-yard line. The quickest way to get there is just running straight. I'm not built for straight. That's not my deal. And then that whole year I was getting rocked, man. It was. And then I had pulled my hamstring. I had a whole bunch going on in Houston. And then I'm coming from a Super Bowl organization to a startup franchise, the biggest change. So it's like we fighting for our life. I'm used to playing. I got used to playing for winning.
Right.
Something game. You playing the Super Bowl, all other games kind of like, let's get to the playoffs. I'm still gonna play hard, but then you go play in Texas, man. I'm out there. I wasn't playing for nothing. I'm an emotional dude. I gotta play football type of sport. I want to go have fun. I want to perform. I want to beat them dudes, but I just playing down there. It just wasn't good. So anyway, I'm running straight down there in Houston. Go to Jacksonville, running straight. I felt like it was time for me to just retire. I was going crazy.
Yeah, at that point you putting yourself in the gauntlet, huh? Yeah,
it was like, so I'm getting, these is car collisions every week. And then look, I'm all in. I'm on the ground knocked out. With the Ravens, I could be knocked out, just throw my hand up in the air. Somebody gonna pick me up. I have my eyes closed. Man, I'm walking past Houston. You can see it on film. I got my hand up. People walking by me, missing their block.
just let me go.
Worry about what the coach gonna say. No, they ain't even coming down to me, and helping me up. That's what I love about the Ravens. I had it, like Russ Purnell. He'd be like, "What you want, Jay Lou?" Especially in the fourth quarter. Let me run to the right. Right, because I can set it up. I'll set the return up. Most of my good ones on the right. I'll just run pick and roll. Act like I'm running left. Then bow, bust to the right. So and then you got to cut it up, though.
I want to bring it back. But what was it like, though, coming home and letting the family know, like, hey, we're done. We're packing up. Time to go back to Baltimore. We're done.
Man, it wasn't hard. I was done. Mentally, I was just out. I had blown my ACL. I tore my ACL and my MCL. I just couldn't do it no more, man. It was taking too much toll. But when I was playing before, when I was at the Ravens, I was like, I'm gonna play about 12 years. It's easy.
It was a different animal then, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just it was just a change of atmosphere, really.
So
So
did you have?
Amara wasn't like trying to get 2 more years out of this joint so you can go
Yeah,
back
she
to
was trying to
Baltimore.
get me to go to the Jets or something, man. I was like, I had my Sam Gash up there, real good friend. He's a really good dude, man. So
Know the
he
name.
was like, I talked to him. I had a lot of times, just I would go to him for advice and stuff like that.
Right.
Hey, look, Strohs, I always say too, man, you doing, when I look back at it, I'm like 25. You asking a veteran, he only like 29 for like life advice. Life advice, he only 29 years old.
Right.
That's like the blind leading the blind, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what was your initial thoughts then when you were, either one of you, when Strohs, when you retired, J. Lou, when you were done and you realized, what was your initial plans? Like we all have plans, like, all right, so I'm done with this. I'm gonna be an underwater basket weaver, ninja, whatever it was. Like, what did you have in mind? Like, all right, I'm done with this. My phone's gonna ring any minute because they're gonna want me on ESPN. They need to hear this. Like, what did you think?
I'll take this for sure. I'm like, well, at first I thought I was gonna coach, but then I got like, football wasn't right because my head, I was just like, I don't know, I don't know if I want to do this because I couldn't even really sit in the room no more. Like the meeting rooms, I was getting claustrophobic. All type of little things was going down. So that's when I was like, well, I don't know about this football stuff, coaching, because you gotta be fully engaged as a coach. Right. Especially at that time, they spending hours up in there, like, till 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
So, you gotta really like what you want to do. And then other than that, I was like, well, I'll just try to own some business. But my plan wasn't the perfect one. So
what kind of business were you trying to get into?
Oh man, I'd tried so much. I tried everything. I had an apartment. I had like a 36-unit apartment building.
Nice.
We did houses. I had some house. I still got a house in Pittsburgh, but it ain't worth that. But
it's in Pittsburgh. It's in Pittsburgh.
It ain't everything. Shit. We tried a lot of little stuff. I had trucking business, just trying stuff, man.
You still got that trucking business?
Nah, I got one truck, but it was like around the Corona time. So that ain't really work out that well. Then my sons let me down.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, were the boys supposed to be driving for you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, they just, they weren't focused enough yet. I was trying to create an avenue for them to, so they don't gotta do the 9-to-5 type of situation. Right away. Fall into till they figure out what they want to do. Right, but yeah, I was gonna coach, but that just didn't work out. But I coached at St. Francis though, and then we end up getting like number 1 in the country. So just for like 1 week, we reached number 1. But other than that, we stayed around like number 3 or 4 in the country.
Still, you say that as nonchalant as like, yeah, when I was with the Ravens, things were much better than when I was over here. You say that so nonchalant. Do you understand? Like, to my right, I have your AFC Championship banner sitting to my right.
Right.
Like Jay, you were the fucking man back then. Like, stop fucking with me right now. Okay?
Nah, man, this how I am.
Like you were the most nonchalant. Like yeah, I played with a couple Hall of Famers, hung out for a little bit. Returned a touchdown during a Super Bowl. Big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it is like that.
You know what though? I think a lot of cats in that position do that, right? Because like you said, it's a job, right? And they just look at it as, because I've talked, I had this conversation with a lot of cats that played in Super Bowls. Not a lot of them that's won Super Bowls, but that's played in Super Bowls, and you know what I'm saying, went to the biggest stage and did. But they just see it as like I was good at my job. That was my job. I was good at my job.
Good at your job. Okay.
Not really understanding that percentage-wise, the percentage of athletes, of football players that get to play on that stage in that arena, it's a very small percentage. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it as it was my job, you don't even, you know what I'm saying? You hear about these percentages coming up through the ranks, through high school, through college. You know what I'm saying? College, they say only 1% of college players make it to go professional in whatever sport they're playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear about these, but when you make it just talking to guys that actually made it. Once they make it, they're like, all right, this is my job. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll downplay it a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think like with J. Lou, he downplaying it, but it's just because they like, it was just my
That's a
job.
great point, though.
You know?
And that's a great point. And what I like about that, you know, and I got to say, here I am, I'm on the backside of it. And I hear it and I'm like, man, but this thing. We all wait to see it every year, this thing. But I respect that so much that it's like, yeah, but you know what? I've probably done some stuff that if I explained it to you guys during it, you'd be like,
Right.
Yeah, I did 20 years in the Marine Corps. I went through boot camp and all that. So, you know, I hear that. So I get it. So,
yeah.
But, you know, and I want to kind of get into this next piece, though. We all have, you know, during that transition and J. Lou, your stuff was pretty public with drinking and all that. Where was it that, you know, for you that you were like, you know what, I'd rather do this? And Strohs, you stay with me, brother, because I love your input. Did you have a moment like that where you were like, hey, you know, these things are better for me than dealing with not having this anymore?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like you was talking earlier when you asked J. Lou, like, you know what I'm saying, what is it that, because I was kind of like J. Lou when I stopped playing, you know what I'm saying, the first thing I said, I think the first thing most cats that played the game for as long as we did, first thing you think is, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and coach this game. You know what I'm saying? So that was the one thing at first I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and coach this game. Then I was kind of like J. Lou, like, nah, I'm too emotional with this game to coach it right now. You know what I'm saying? At that point in my career, like I was just getting done with football. I'm like, I'm too emotionally charged to be out here in charge of kids' lives.
Oh, did we lose
so
him?
Then I flip over to the theater side, right, J. Lou? You know, I was a theater major, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go do this acting. I'm just waiting on Hollywood to call. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then I look and I go full circle, like, you know what, the Hollywood thing. You know what I'm saying? Moving to New York, moving to LA, doing all these things, and not being focused. That's what made me say, you know what, like I'd rather have a life than to have this life that I'm trying to chase. Just let life find me, right?
Now, are you doing some Hollywood? I mean, because I looked your stats up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they bounced you a lot around at
man,
Maryland
they
too,
didn't know
didn't
what
they?
they wanted. Hey, look,
You were a wide receiver, you were a quarterback, you were a D-back.
Right.
I played end guard tackle. I sat at the end of the bench, guarded the water, and tackled anyone that came near it.
Right.
Like that was me, end guard tackle. You know, I just took care of all of it. And just so you know, J. Lou, Nate's showing you some love. You know, Nate.
I see
it. He's showing that love.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah, man. I was a hybrid player before hybrid players were hybrid players, right? They didn't know what they wanted to do, and that's how I ended up at Maryland, honestly, because I think when they recruited me, like they were better liars than other teams. Everybody lies, but I think Maryland lied the best, right? Because I was a hybrid player, and so everybody was recruiting me as an athlete, and I wanted to play quarterback. And Maryland sat in my living room with me and my mom and said, "We're absolutely gonna let you play quarterback." I'm like, all right, cool. I'm at Maryland. First week I get there, well, we need you at DB before. All right, come on, man. So
now you bring up a good point. I wanted to hear both of your guys' thoughts on this. For like somebody out there who's got a kid who's looking at college sports. I have a cousin that played in the NFL, and I heard him talk about getting recruited for college was like that movie. What was it? Johnny something, where like all the schools are whining and dining and they're like, you know, it's lights, it's everything else. You know, it's very glitz and glamour when they're recruiting you for college.
Yeah.
The college workout rooms are very big. But he said that when you go for the NFL, it's a job interview. It's very much like a job. Was that your experiences when you were trying out for team Strohs, or you, J. Lou, when you were getting recruited both sides?
Well, I mean, I remember a funny story. I mean, it ain't funny, but like John Gruden. So I was at the combine.
If it's involving John Gruden, I already know it's about to be something crazy.
What did he say?
Right. So we got to do all these. So they put you through like it's like a 3-day kind of mental and physical boot camp. So they work you out like you run your 40 at like 6 in the morning. Back then, that's when I was some stupid stuff. They had you doing that little machine. I can't remember the Cybex machine. Get your legs tied. But anyway, with John Gruden, so he's like this when he was with Philly. So he in there sitting with the lights off. You know, looking like a little lamp. Like this is like
he looking like I'm looking right now.
Yeah, right. Like you stole you drank the beer at 11:30 or whatever, something like that. We in the room lights on. He's like, I'm looking for somebody that can beat Deion Sanders. I need that type of speed, you know. And I'm just thinking, like, man, why is he sitting here in the dark? But I do got speed, so I'm like, he know what he talking about, you know what I'm saying?
That is too funny.
But I'm just like, it was definitely an interview. You know, they want to see kind of reactions. Now that I'm older, I can understand like the questions, you know, better. Just, you know, like Stro said, are you watching film? Are you doing extra? Because now I learn like you're not just working out. When you go work out, you're not working out just against your teammates or your defensive back. You work against that guy in Mississippi, that dude in Arkansas, them Cali kids, about Sam Other in Texas. You know, and that's just for the top 10 spot. You know,
right.
You know what I mean? You competing with everybody, so they want to hear your answers. Like, are you willing? You know, they want to know, do you have that?
And it's even more like you can see it even more today, J. Lou, than you know what I'm saying. Than when you went into the league, like I think the mental side of it has gotten more intense today. You know what I'm saying? Just because of some of the things that have happened. With a lot of these cats get in the league, they get money, you know what I'm saying, and do stupid
it's
stuff,
technology, right? Too. The technology.
Yeah, it's technology.
You can see stuff. Like back in the day, you could just hear, like I heard Chris Carter did 45 minutes of cardio on the Stairmaster after practice every day. So that was like a rumor. So it was like, hold on, should I be doing that? Because you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang. That's how you found out about, you know, what's going on. Now people posting on YouTube.
Yeah, you know, it's right away. People going live on social media.
Live on their workout showing. You know, I used to be like, no, you know, don't show them what's under the hood. I used to always say that. You don't let nobody know that you do how much you worked out because you kind of want to just surprise people.
You want to sneak up on them.
Yeah. And if you know, everything's a competition. So like even in your wide receiver room, you can't tell them, yeah, I catch 600 balls after practice on my own at my house. Yeah, we try to get a job. You know, I'm trying to beat you out, really. So,
right. Yeah.
So I don't know. And look, real quick, I don't even know how that NIL works, Strohs, in the wide receiver room. So say like me and G-Roy. If G-Roy catching all the passes, I ain't gonna get no money. You know how y'all gonna share the rock? You
right. That's the NIL in that meeting room. Got to be something serious.
Yeah, like hold up, man. You getting this amount, and I'm getting this. You know, I don't know. They so young. It's hard for them to process.
Now, what's NIL? What's NIL?
The name, college money that they're giving out.
The name, image, likeness.
The NIL deals in Maryland, or I mean, any college, just to say.
I got you.
So one receiver's going to be getting most of the balls. He's going to get all the money, basically.
Right.
And in college, that's like unheard of now. I mean, it's new to the game.
Right.
That y'all got to learn to share this money. You know, say one guy, say you working out with 4 guys and one dude got $1 million. The rest of y'all got 0.
Right. Now, why I'm working as hard as, you know what I'm saying? Why am I working
somebody getting clipped. Somebody got to get clipped.
Right. Yeah. So
that's subject.
NIL has changed. NIL and the transfer portal has changed college football, bro.
I think the portal to me needs to go away. I'm sorry. It needs to go away because I understand that these guys that aren't getting playtime can go to a new school and then now you know the name and everything, but I look at enough NFL guys from your time and before that came out of nowhere schools.
Right.
Jerry Rice came from nowhere.
Right. Jerry Rice, Brett Favre. I mean, these guys came from smaller schools. So it's not always about being at the big school, being on ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN every Saturday. It's not, you know what I'm saying? They always told me, look, if you're good, they're going to find you. I don't care where you are.
Right. Somebody will talk about it.
In today's NFL, where, you know what I'm saying, when they start announcing these starting lineups on Monday Night Football, and you'd be like, you went to what school? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Look, T
some of
Sizzle
them are
always did
coming
the
from-
Monday night the best, though. Come on,
right. Yeah,
School of Hard Knocks.
yeah.
I mean, he always had the best for those. So, but now so you're on the backside of your NFL careers. What kind of things are we doing today? Because J Lou, I know you're back to coaching. You want to talk about who you're coaching right now for the Ravens?
What you mean?
Aren't you coaching a rookie return man?
Oh yeah, but
Can we talk about that? I mean, I'm gonna just say it that way.
I was trying to help out. His name Jordan Swan. Yeah, Swan. He played with me, and also Anthony Mitchell's son. I just talked with him. I couldn't get him on the field. I was like, look, can you meet me Saturday? He was like, oh, I'm helping this girl move, right? I was like, all right.
Like, you don't want it.
Never
You don't want
mind.
it.
Never mind.
I said, look, I just started explaining to her. I said, well, I can try to get cerebral with you and just explain a couple little tips that he could use, right away, to help with the running and stuff. Like, because his father wanted me to stay on him. But I'm like, you learn the hard way, man. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You can't want it more for somebody than they want it for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And he don't understand, like I said, like, these guys been in the NFL for like years. They know all the little tricks of the trade, the little secrets, like you said, like the Marines or whatever. You know how I load a handgun backwards with your eyes closed, take it apart. They've been doing that for 10 years. You see what I mean? That's the part you got. They've watched so much football. It's 20 weeks. It's 20 games. You've actually studied for each team 20 times per season. In college, you play like 10 games. The preparation is harder. And then over time, they like encyclopedias. They done seen it all. So the more I used to say, the more you can study, the easier it's going to get.
Well, that's the game film piece. When you guys were bringing that up, all I thought about was the first two players that I ever heard really them talk about game film outside of a quarterback, to me, and please correct me, were the other leg, one of the other legs of the Lewis squared, Ray.
Right.
Everybody talked about game film guy, and then Ed Reed, game film guy.
Right.
It's all about that, really, because Ray. People say Ray fast. Nah, Ray know the play going right. You know what I mean? I mean, no, he is fast. No, I'm not saying that, but he also knows. See, on top of being fast, okay, he know he going to the right. He may have kicked up like the left guard may have his hand on his thigh where he gonna pull to the other way.
Right. He knows tendency.
He gonna shoot it. Soon as he see anything go to the right, he gonna shoot it because he already studied it. And his brain already seen it on tape. It's gonna be like 98% chance that it's gonna happen. So you already above it.
And that's it. When you studied it like that, you ain't got to second guess it, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll see a lot of cats that'll be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? If I ain't studying that much, like, all right, I feel like about 50% of the time when the left guard hand hit his right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I studied it, bro, I can shoot gaps. If I'm a corner, I can jump routes because
jump route combinations.
98% of the time it's going. That's where it's going.
Receiver got his right foot up, left foot up.
Right.
Stupid,
I gotta ask this question because you just brought this up and it just came to mind to me. Either one of you, was there ever somebody that you played? And we're gonna make this a twofold question. Was there ever anybody that you played with that everybody was like, oh, this cat right here, he gonna be somebody, and you left him on his own private island? Or on the other end of it for you, Strohs, everybody was like, this guy's got that speed, and you just ate his lunch. And then you saw him later after your careers, and you guys talked about that time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. For me, it was that Tamarick Vanover. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're losing him.
And they
Orlando, we're losing you, brother.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna.
All right. Anybody while he's doing that, anybody come to mind to you, Jermaine?
Let's see if I
I don't know. I like
Oh,
put it like that. I like the state of New York. Put it like that. All of New York is so for real. So even when like I had that Jets game when I scored 2 touchdowns, right? That was like right after the Geronimo situation. I came in and scored 2 times against the Jets. And then against the Super Bowl, I scored against the Giants. So all New York, all the time they recognized me for that. Like, so me and Imar one time, we got stuck in this snowstorm in Atlantic City. Nobody could leave the hotel. so we was stuck in there. And it was like a mob dude. He was like, oh, you Jermaine Lewis, blah, blah, blah. You tore up my Jets and my Giants type stuff. He was like, man, since we stuck in here, y'all, we had our son.
you parking?
He was like, you could use our babysitter. You can do all this and all that, man. So it's a big deal just because of that 1 year, that one run. I knocked out like 2 of the New York teams. So it's good talking stuff. People always remember the run. It's like that's like the only play I ever had in my life. Really,
like nothing else ever existed, just that one play. Like
you're like nothing else ever happened. Like I ain't did nothing, but I appreciate that opportunity because the simple fact I was ready when the moment came. Blah blah, I was ready for it. Answered the bell, so that's what the part I do like.
Look, you guys were still one of the greatest runs I ever saw. What was it? 4 straight games or 5 straight games without a touchdown and still won?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's
just field goals. I mean, I know everybody gives all this love right now, but Matt Stover was still to me like that dude. If they don't put a ring on him and put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, he was consistent. I mean, he showed the way. He kind of paved the way for Tucker as far as being a kicker, having that longevity, and the kicking game being such an important part of winning.
How many kickers in the Hall right now?
Oh, I don't know. God. Nate, if you're out there, Google that for me and send it to me.
That's
how many kickers are.
And I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but because he obviously should, you know what I mean? I think there's a few kickers.
Well, he was your Players Association president for a bit too, wasn't he?
Yeah, NFL. Yep.
I mean, come on. And the guy was automatic for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about Grammatica, but he was just as automatic as they come. But so you guys have no idea. This is just the greatest. But Strohs, who was your guy? Who was your guy?
So in college, I love playing against Florida State guys, right? Because in college, they were the team to beat. They had the best athletes that would come up against. So they had a receiving corps one year: Tamarick Vanover, Kez McCorvey, Chuck Knox. These guys, you know what I'm saying? Like legends of our day coming in college. And I remember, like, okay, I'm watching film. That was 1 week I did watch film, right? Like I'm gonna watch a little film on these guys because I just wanted Tamarick. Right, you know what I'm saying? I want Tamarick's number. Like I'm like I want to check Tamarick Vanover. You know what I'm saying? I want to, as much as I can, shut him down. I'm not saying he's not gonna catch a ball, but I don't want him to catch deep ball. You know what I'm saying? I remember coming across the middle one time and I called him. I dumped him. Boom, dumped him on his side. Boom, he got up. I took his little towel on the side. I took his little towel, threw it in the air. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking back at it on ESPN like, oh yeah, I got him. You know what I'm saying? And I think he caught 2 or 3 balls that game. Probably for like 40, 50 yards. He still got his catches, but nothing too exciting, right? Then turn 15, 20 years later, I'm at a club in Atlanta. I see T. Vanover and Warwick Dunn. You know what I'm saying? We started talking about old days. I'm like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? We started talking about it. Like, yeah, I mean, because they played us in Maryland that year, and Charlie Ward didn't play backup. What's his boy name? Chris Winkie or somebody. Yeah, I think it was Chris Winkie. Chris Winkie played because they had Notre Dame the following week. They didn't want to get Charlie hurt. So he was like, yeah, remember that game, man? It was cold. Because for them, coming from Florida, it was cold. You know what I'm saying? It might have been 65 degrees, but for them, that was freezing. So I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And just to come full circle years later to see him and talk about that, he remember that. I'm like, all right. And then, see him going to have, he had a decent return. He had a decent return career in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? He was a nice return for years with KC.
So we're getting ready to close the bar here soon, gents. So
that's called.
So you've had some interesting things building up to your career. J. Lou, you said it already. You were ready for it to be done. The body was hurting. You went through your pieces. now that you're on the backside of that portion of it, the career's been done for a minute in the NFL. You started a new career, new life. What are some of the things that for you in that transition that you took with you that good, bad, or indifferent that like you still can that you hold on to and you're like, hey, I got this. I remember this every day.
You mean about the league or remember?
Just that transition. We had Amara on the first episode, and she talked about it from a wife's standpoint. When that career ended, and the things that you guys went through to get on the other side and to your life that you have today. What were some of the things though that you took with you during that time, good, bad, or indifferent, that help you move through your day every day today?
I don't know. One thing I learned recently, like last year. So I was doing these, like Orlando though. I was doing these camps,
right,
for Under Armour. I still do them. So I've been doing like 6 or 7 years. So he asked me to go to Hawaii, right? So it was like, we got a camp in Hawaii. First time we're gonna try it. It's already, they got all, everything set up. But I was like, why you picking me on this one? It was like, man, because you working hard and you could deal with big groups. And then, he took him all, paid for everything. They paid for all that. But anyway, the point of the story was, when my first year at the Ravens, I had to work real hard that off season to be able to start making plays, some real plays. I had to study harder. I had to work out more. So it's like the more I learned, the more you put into something, the better the result at the end.
Right.
So like it took a lot. They don't understand. Like I used to stay up all night and study tape. I would stay up and write on my wrist what I learned at night, go out at practice, and in individuals, I would go over what I learned. And the fact that I was learning so much, I kind of liked it. When it was new stuff, I'm learning new because I studied Eric Metcalf, and he would run with his knees all high.
Right.
I was like, oh, I want to do that. And then I learned, just how to break down. And I would study Jerry Rice. I would study Keenan McCardell, Jimmy Smith. I was studying everybody, man. Chris Carter. I was studying Mel Gray. I studied, guys that were similar to me. After, I felt like if I could put part of their game, now they call it a bag, your little tool bag. I used to be stealing stuff all the time, man, because I was studying. Shit, I'm like, you put it on tape, I can steal it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You put it on tape, it's mine.
It's mine. Yeah, you put it out there, now you get to see it like, oh, okay. I might got to slow up, run around that corner a little bit. I'll be able to crease that hole better. So I'm starting to learn. The more you put into it, the more you get out. And I also tell the kids at the camp, some of the coaches look at me crabby like, look, you can't stand on the football. You can stand on the book. I say, what happened if you stand on the football? They be like, oh, you gonna fall. I'm like, y'all got it. So remember that for the rest of your life.
Amen. Absolutely.
One of the things I think you could take from what Jay Lewis said and just simply really simplify it is playing sports all your life. One thing that I can take with that into any arena of my life today, and I'm sure Jay Lou can attest to it, bro, you're not going to outwork me in anything. You know what I'm saying? You might be better than me, you might be this, but you will not, you won't out, you know what I'm saying? Like sports taught me a work ethic. Like you will not outwork me if I want it.
Right, if you want it, right.
You know what I'm saying? If I want it, you will not outwork me in this. I'm sorry, you may be better than me, but I'm gonna find a way and get it done because you just, I'm not gonna let you outwork me.
So now I gotta ask then, Strohs. I mean, you talked about, you were gonna be, you were trying to get into Hollywood, you were doing all those elements. So where are you currently landed at?
I'm in Atlanta, man. So Atlanta's the new Hollywood. So I'm still doing my acting thing. Hopefully, the writer's strike was just over, so the actor strike is.
I mean, you got kind of a Luke Cage kind of look. I mean, you got a little. Luke
I mean, he had put online. He was in a prison suit, man. I I was like, how you got a camera in prison, motherfucker?
Yeah, that was an episode. That was a TV show that I shot that. So yeah, I'm still plugging away at it, man. So hopefully,
Man.
you know what I'm saying, I'll have something that I can speak on in the near future that, you know what I mean, I can share with everybody. But right now everything is just kind of coasting along. But yeah, I'm still doing that, man. And I'm coaching football at the very lowest of, I got a 6-year-old son, right? This is his first year playing football. And
That's
so
the
I was
best
like,
level.
yeah, I was like, if he's going to play football, I'm coaching
He's like
him
herding
first
cats.
year. Yes, because I'm going to teach him fundamentals of football at 6. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing that.
I remember those
That's a
days.
lot of fun, man. So,
I so remember those days. My one son is 27. I can remember when he started at 9 years old in Richlands, North Carolina.
yeah.
And I can't remember who it was that year, but there was somebody that was originally from Richlands that made Rookie of the Year for running back that was from that town. I don't even remember who it was.
Okay.
But he started playing, and we did the he had his pads. Shit looked like way bigger than he was, and he's running around. And I did the typical dad thing. I was like, "Oh man, so how you doing with that?" He's like, "It's good." I was like, "Well, why don't you run at me with the football? See how it feels to run with the football with pads on." He got within arm's reach, and I threw him on the ground, and his eyes were about this big around, like big saucers. And he's looking at me. I'm like, "Are you alive?
Right.
Yeah. Are you hurting? No. Can you still move? Yeah." I
Yep.
said, "Dad's a lot bigger than the kids you're going to play against, aren't I?" "Yeah." I said, "So you can survive in pads, can't you?" "I can." And I'll tell you, my son, God's honest truth, and I look, I love watching y'all play. I'm absolutely a fan. But to this day, my son is still the greatest football player I've ever watched. Brains wise, problem was he's 5'3", 5'4", 155 pounds. And
Being a
when
student of the game helps, man. When you
he
know the game.
he knew the game.
Yeah.
But you'll appreciate this. I taught him how to run like Jamal.
Oh, wow.
Never stop your legs. Keep your legs pumping the entire time. He had but he was in 11th grade and he took his 5th concussion. And I was like, "You're done."
Yeah.
You're done.
Hey, real quick with Jamal, I used to be like, they used to say, "Stop patterning your feet." They used to tell him stop that little pattern. I was like, well, man, he knows something.
Leave that dude alone. Leave that dude alone.
Right. He know what he's doing.
That natural instincts just go because he did that little pity pat. That kind of like freeze them linebackers. You know how Le'Veon Bell used to do that little freeze move? I think that little pity pat.
Maybe I had that little freeze step. Yeah.
Man, I was like, leave alone. But yeah,
look, what is he still the second highest rushing yards in a single season?
Bell?
He was up there 2000.
Well, he almost
Lewis.
Yeah, I think they said, somebody keeps saying like, man, he was supposed to break the record. They ain't playing
Dickerson. It was Dickerson's record. He was
Dickerson,
he was on his way to beat Dickerson's record. In that last game, he missed it by like 30 yards or something silly like that. It was something small. Look, gents, I can't thank either one of you enough for hanging out with us tonight, giving everybody kind of an insight that when this ends, there's another career, there's another step, there's another process.
Right.
And if you what I'm taking from this, and you tell me, I want your opinions on this. What I'm taking from both of what you're saying is if you've learned these skills of dealing with adversity, dealing with challenges, the biggest thing, Jermaine, that I love that you said was you learned how to learn, and you took that learning skill to the next level for yourself. And it sounds like, Strohs, you did the same thing.
Yeah,
with
definitely
acting.
Translates. Yeah.
Like that sounds to me like when you're transitioning, that is the skill that helped push you through to survive. Am I hearing it right? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I'm like, whatever, just don't stop. It ain't like we did sports so long. Sometimes you ain't gonna find what you like right away. Like, you gotta be lucky to say, this is my next career or whatever. You gotta try certain things. So you gotta try and figure out what you like to go do, or like we like football. It ain't that hard to go work out if you like football, or go stand on the field for 2.5 hours if you like it. So a job gotta be similar, or things in life you gotta kind of like. In me, like Strohs said, he gonna outwork you if he want to do it, if he want it at that
If I wanted, you will not outwork me.
That's an amazing. I love that attitude.
Outwork me. Not at this point in my life. Nah, man. I've been there before and let that happen where I got outworked. And I'm like, you know what? If I learned anything from that, you will not outwork me ever, anybody, ever again.
Strohs, I mean this with all the love in my heart. Don't step in my lane, dog. Don't step
There
in my
he
lane.
is, man.
We both gonna have heart attacks,
bro.
dog. We both gonna be mad as shit.
If my phone dies, I got it just flashed up. I got like 2% battery. So if my phone dies,
real
I
quick,
didn't hang up. But
Nate,
I may lose y'all.
J. Lou knows Nate. We all love Nate. Nate's got an important question he asked of all of our guests.
Yes.
I'll get you to answer first, Strohs. What is your favorite go-to meal?
Favorite go-to meal nowadays and for the past 20-something years is anything with tofu in it. I'm vegetarian, so
okay.
With fried tofu, I'll kill it. As a matter of fact, that's why I'm meeting my wife and a couple friends out right now. We're going to this restaurant in Atlanta, and I'm going to hit me some nice fried tofu.
I got something for you then, real quick, Strohs. Since you are in Atlanta, go to the Dwarf House. You know the Dwarf House, right? But you know what you got to get? Look, listen to me.
Yeah.
Ask for the sweet potato souffle with a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Bro, we live. I'm gonna say real quick before I get. I'm about 2 miles from a Dwarf House, and me and my wife probably go there for breakfast 2 or 3 times a week. We drop the kid off. Kid goes to school like right around the corner from there. Drop the kid off, and we have a breakfast date.
Brother, it's like that. It's like that.
Look,
bro. Hey, and I don't even eat chicken. I don't even eat chicken, but yeah.
I was working for CSX for a minute.
Okay, yeah, the railroad.
I had a waitress. She was healthy, if you know what I mean. She was healthy.
They all are down here, bro.
She knew how to find a meal. And I was like, my best friend and my Terrell, we were there and we're like, hey, we're looking for a meal. And she goes, she said, y'all know what you need? I said, nope, tell me what I need. She goes, you need the sweet potato souffle with a scoop of ice cream. I went, big girl, I am eating that. If you were telling me to eat it, I'm eating that. Bro,
because you look like you know how to eat, so I got to try it, right?
Look, she ain't never turned down nothing but her collar.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, it was a life-changing. So when you go to the next one, please make sure that you do that. Now, I know you got to get ready to go in and have a meal with your wife.
No
we
doubt.
do this with all of our guests and everything. Jay, you got about 2 minutes with me. You can hang. What is your final word there, Strohs?
My final word, man, look, like I said, playing sports all my life, man, it's been fun. Met a lot of great people, you know what I'm saying? Met Jermaine, still one of my really good friends to this day. Met most of my friends that I'm still friends with today came from playing sports. Not cats that I grew up with and played in the sandbox with, but that I put some effort into doing something that we both love together, right? And like I said, that taught me perseverance, that taught me how to get along with others, that taught me diversity, that taught me how to work with as a team, you know what I mean? It taught me a lot that I take into my everyday life today, right? So if I could tell anybody anything, whatever you're doing, do it with all your heart and understand that down the road, it can help you in other areas of your life. You know what I'm saying? But sports, I tell every parent that I ever meet, get your kid involved in sports. I don't care if it's baseball, football, basketball, track, whatever the sport is. It teaches discipline, and it teaches you how, you know what I mean, how to work as a team, or if it's an individual. It just teaches you some things about life that you can't learn just from being a kid, in my opinion. I'm a little biased on that.
I agree with you. Sports has done a lot. I don't know too many cats that can't say they learned something from the sports they played.
Absolutely.
Brother, I appreciate you. Tell your wife we said thank you for allowing this time.
Absolutely,
we appreciate
man.
that.
It's
Go get your fried tofu.
Yes,
sir.
man, be easy. You see Maryland 5-0 too.
Hey, Zay, I might come up for homecoming. If not for homecoming, I'll definitely be at the bowl game.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up for the home. I'm gonna come out for the homecoming.
Okay.
You know what, Jermaine? We could talk all about them Turks because I was so mad when they left the ACC. I felt it was bullshit, and I thought it was because I'm a basketball guy, and I was like, this is bullshit. But the fact that they did it for football,
we can say this for another show because
this is definitely another show. I could give you a whole hour on the Turks.
Real interesting.
Yeah. But so look, folks, if you're finding Jermaine or Strohs through me or me through them, please take a moment, give a like, give a follow, give a share. That's how these messages gets out. That's how other people get to hear what their struggles were, what they went through, and how they came out on the other side positive. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, all those different locations. Do that for us. Make that happen. Gents, don't log off on me after this. Give me 2 minutes, and I'd really appreciate you. Jermaine, just like I did for Strohs, he set it up for you. You know what the question is going to be. What is your final word?
My final word, just one thing I learned, all storms end. So if you either going into the storm, you either in the storm, or you coming out of the storm. But at the end of the day, all storms end, man. So you can get through these whatever times. It's just life, man. Life got a way of balancing itself out. So just keep pushing forward.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff, Jay.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in.
This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.